Alright, here we've got some Plastidip. Of course I covered the thing with the label, but it's a different version of what I used on the shield. It's basically just a liquid rubber, and it's going to seal all this up and make it look like not foam. Gonna need to do a few coats. Okay, here we are, and we're ready to paint now. It's all sealed, and you can see it's a little bubbly because I went too aggressive with my spraying of the sealant, and I put too much on at once, but I was tired of doing it. So it feels different from the sealant that I used for my shield. This definitely feels rubbery and it's flexible. The other one kind of made it harder. And this is definitely not that. So to try to cover up the bubbles and make everything really smooth, I'm going to use some Floetrol, which helps to relieve brush marks and make it self-leveling. I use this for my pouring, my acrylic pours. And I've decided to make the handle very, very dark green. It looks black, but I think that's just the lighting. There's no way they made the handle black, because the blade is black and matte. I think that this is a color and we just can't tell what color it is, so green made sense to me, so we're gonna go with green. So I put in some phthalo green, my acrylic that I use for pouring because it's already a medium body, and then Mars Black, the acrylic that I use for pouring. Just a little bit. I've put it in, I don't know if you can see. See, I put in probably this much Floetrol, and then the rest of this is paint. I want it to be like a 2-to-1 paint to Floetrol mix. Just a little bit of black to make it a darker green. And though it's kind of transparent, so the black underneath will show, we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's hard to see in that light. And when I use my sable brush, this has very smooth action with the nylon bristles. Don't get so many brush marks. I'm going to be pretty generous here because I really want it to fill in these bubbles. There we go. If I had an airbrush, I would have used that, but I don't. So this is the best that I can do. Okay, I set that aside to dry, and I'm just gonna put this on as a base coat for the blade. I have to go out and buy the paint that I want to use for it. I don't want it to be matte black. I'm going to get a metallic black, so it's got a little bit of something. I'm just going to go ahead and do this as a base coat to help fill in the bubbles. Okay, I've put on 3 coats of the dark green, and you really can't see that it's green at all. I mean, that's what color it is, but when it's on the black, it's so transparent that it's got no highlights whatsoever. So I'm gonna have to go in and try and make some highlights, some definition around the head and down on this groove. And I noticed that I made a mistake when I made this. It's so hard to tell because it's so dark and there's no close-up pictures of it. But there's a groove that runs along the finger grips that I should have added with the Dremel, but I'm gonna have to kind of pretend and put it in with paint. See if I can get that, because there's a groove that runs along the back and that kind of matches that. I also have to put in the beak and the eyes, and then the handle is done. I'm gonna use this, what do we call it? This is called Honeycomb. It's house paint sample that I got for my paint pouring. So it should be pretty liquidy. I shouldn't see too many brush strokes. Don't need to use too much. I'm just going to use my little tiny brush. It's very tiny, you can't even see it. I won't even focus on it. I'll just start back here. There's your beak. I'll let that dry and then I'll do second coat and then do a little bit of detailing to make it look weathered from chopping up drugs and whatnot. Alright. Eyeballs. What do you think? Well, they're not at all even, of course. Okay, now I'm going to take my phthalo green without the black in it. I'm going to try to like dry brush some highlights. Let's see how much we mess this up. Gonna have to mix the green with some white, which I don't want to do, or I could just say fuck it and leave it the way it is. I've got a green mixture with some white in it, so it's no longer transparent. And it's probably too light and it's gonna do not what I want it to do, but it's better than having it do nothing. Let's give it a shot. Alright, can't really see it in the camera there, but there is a green highlight. All of it. Okay, let it dry. I have to fix what I just did there. First I'm going to put some highlights on the beak. This might be a mistake. But we're doing it anyway. Okay, can't really see it too well on this, but it's there. Okay, so I'm sanding off some of this beak. I was doing it. It doesn't take much, and the camera didn't turn on. I think I'm done. The handle. What do you think? Okay, we're going to seal the handle with some clear enamel. This is just what I have. You can use any brand that's clear. I really want this to look plasticky, or whatever it is they use to make knife handles. I don't know. So we're going to put several coats on this. And here we go. There we go. I'm going to twirl it around a bit so it doesn't get drips. Okay, here we go. To finish the blade, I tried making a stencil of this, but it's just too small and my knife is not sharp enough. And so we're just going to freehand it and fingers crossed. Got some silver and white mixed. I didn't want it to be bright white, and I was hoping with the silver there'd be a little bit of sheen to it, a little metallic touch, so it wouldn't be so starkly different. And here's our blade. It looks more brown than I wanted it to look, but I like the metallicness, if that's a word. It evened out a lot of the grooves from the sanding with the Dremel. There is one drip, but that was when I was doing the other thing. It wasn't from the spray paint. Alright, so I have to make an edge, a stripe all the way around the edge of the blade. I think they did that to make it pop a little bit more instead of just solid black, but it's still really very slight and all the things are very dark and hard to see. Alright, here we go. Let's mess this up. Okay, I don't like the way the stripe looks. So, gonna soldier on. Okay. And if you'll notice, it is spelled wrong on the actual knife. It's spelled Soldier Boy, not Soldier Boy. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright. There you go. Not super happy with it. Not super happy with anything I just did right now. But we'll call it a day, I think. Alright. I'm not going to put a sealant on the blade because I'm going to have him sign it. And it doesn't work very well. The markers don't work very well on sealant. So, I guess we're done. Okay, I'm gonna take this holder skewer out of the handle. And the blade in. It's the smooth side of the blade with the ridgy part. And there we are, full blade. Not really happy with my paint job, but it's done. Hopefully he will like it. I'm going to, once I talk to Jensen and confirm some of the shaping that I've done, I will put the template for this up on my website, and the link will be down below. And if you enjoyed watching, want to see more stuff, comment below what you'd like to see me make, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Psych, I lied. I went back in and I found, apparently they don't make metallic black, so I have this carbon mist, and I don't like it very much. It's very, very shiny, which is not what I wanted, but at least it's not brown. And it also leaves fingerprints, which is no bueno. But I did a better job with the stripe and the lettering, even though I still are not great. Better than they were, and I'm done now. Okay, so see you next time.